Hello, Vampire Faithful, and welcome to the finale of Blood on the Bayou, Manapod Studios' latest limited run of Vampire the Masquerade. My name is Mark, and I am and have been the storyteller for this amazing limited run of a game. This is full disclosure for all those who have been tuning in, whether it's your first time or if you've been following the whole series. This has been my first time ever running a game in this system, Vampire the Masquerade, but it's really left an impression on me, and I'm really excited to see where this last session takes us. But it wouldn't have left such a crazy impression on me if not for my amazing coterie that have assembled for this game. So let's give them one last introduction in this show. So let's have Ray take it away.
Hi guys, I'm Ray. My pronouns are she, her. I am playing Eleanor, the Speakeasy owner, and a Toreador. I also play in the Tales of the Pac-World Starfinder game, and our finale is actually on July, I always forget the date, Mark.
18th. First, 18th, sorry, 17th.
17th. So please tune in on that date for the finale of our Tales of the Pac-World. I've had a great time playing Vampire the Masquerade with you guys. I always love being a vampire, and I've been enjoying fleshing out this new character in my southern accent.
It's been great.
Hi everyone, howdy. I'm Krifu Bernal, another captain here at Manapod Studios. I can be found every Monday night, GMT, on Manapod, playing another Starfinder stream called All That Glitters Explodes. Today, I am sad to be playing for the last time Jace Phillips, Gangrel Cowboy, who, with his trusty steed Cisco, has been helping out the coterie here in Houston, Texas. It'll be, I'm glad to play it, but a little sad to see them go.
So, hello everyone, I'm Helen, and this was also my first time streaming. So it is exciting to reach a conclusion to this strange adventure. We'll see what happens in that story of Rebecca Asteri, a Tremere vampire, a women scholar, in a year when women were not supposed to join the university. So let's see what we have to earn from this adventure.
Yes, thank you. Well, I think it's best that we give just a quick recap of the events of what happened last time. So when last we saw our unique and crazy coterie, you all had infiltrated the University of Houston, where that was believed to have been the latest hiding spot for the man in the black hat, who has been turning people into vampires without express permission from the prince. And it came to a head with Jace riding his horse Cisco through the halls of the university, lassoing Samuel, frenzying on him, Rebecca putting the other ones into a torpor, and Ellie Mae, I was about to say Rose, Ellie Mae, were running off to grab the prince while the others hold on to the bodies here. So I think it's only fitting that we open up this session with Ellie making her way towards Prince David. So with your enhanced vampire speed, your celerity coursing through your veins, running to the courthouse where underneath in the catacombs lie the prince. What are you thinking? What's going through your head right now?
Right now she's like, oh my God, I can't believe we did it. Oh my God, we're so close. And then she's thinking of the promise that, or semi-promise that might be fulfilled for her.
Yeah, you didn't see any combat in the last session, I don't think. So your clothes still look just as they did when you left the courthouse earlier that night when you saw the prince. Like not even like it's only been like maybe an hour and a half at the absolute most, but not even that much, I don't think.
Yeah, because we took the horse, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, all three of you
Okay.
piled onto Cisco.
Okay.
Whether or not Cisco was happy about it is another story. But I'll have to check in with Jace about that one. But you make with your enhanced vampiric speed, you were able to make your way to Prince David relatively quickly. And I'm going to take us into a one-on-one scene real quick. So, as you make your way in, the back of the courthouse, abandoned as usual at this time of night, through the little kitchen into the basement catacombs, you see the prince is there. In his desk now, not in his like back quarter chambers, private chambers, but the front of his desk. And when he comes in, he was like, "I did not expect to see you so soon. Why have you returned?"
Okay, she quickly kind of like fixes her hair, adjusts her clothing. Sir, Prince, we did it. We actually have the man, the one responsible for all this.
Well, where is he?
Well, he's back at the university. The other two, they have him, but we need you or someone else to come help us transport him. There's no way we can get him and his companions on our horse. So if it's not too much trouble, could you possibly help us out with this one?
His companions. You were able to get a few more than just him?
Yes. Apparently there was at least 2 other people working with him.
Fantastic. Very well. If you can give me just a few moments to get everything together, I believe I can arrange a carriage to take us over there. And
Thank you.
He gets up from behind his desk and he walks over to you. And he's like, "I am impressed, Miss Taylor. This is very impressive. Not even maybe an hour has passed, and you have already fulfilled your promise to me."
Well, you need to thank the other 2. I haven't seen a fight like that in quite a while.
Very well. I find it fitting, though, that you are the one here who brought the message, as I do not know Miss Astery very well, and Mr. Phillips is an outsider as well. What is your opinion of them?
My opinion? I honestly haven't. I've known them maybe just as long as you, sir.
2 days?
Yes. They came into my bar the same night as you.
I know Miss Astery has been here for a little while, but yes, I've been aware of her presence in the city of Houston for quite some time. But yes, I have not had a chance to make her acquaintance until the other night. Do you think that they would serve the city of Houston well? Should we embrace them into our ranks? Give them a true home amongst the kindred here in Houston?
Well, if I could speak honestly, sir.
Please. You've earned that much with your determination. I believe you've earned the right to speak honestly and speak candidly.
Well, Jace, I think he's a free spirit, but if he had means to settle roots, I think he would be a good service. He proved that to you the other night.
Indeed, he did.
But Rebecca, I think power's her game.
I've sensed as much as well, but I admit you say just a few companions. Look at what they've done to this city. Perhaps it is time to bring power into the city.
If you think it's best, sir. Speaking honestly, we're all out for our own intentions when it comes down to it.
That's true. Very well. He claps his hands 3 times, and his chambers open up, and out walks Darius in the same suit that he was wearing before. I think it is best that you take this one, that this one accompanies us, so we can get him acquainted with how things work here in Houston. He will be joining our ranks, but staying in the city of Houston might not be... He won't be here for very long. I believe with his ties to Louisiana, it might be best to start looking to grow our ranks and our power outside of the city of Houston as well. Outside of areas, maybe make alliances for more power.
Eleanor kind of looks at Darius to see, to get like a positive confirmation that this is something that he also wants.
Yeah, Darius has this look on his face that he's like very, very, he's very still nervous about everything, but like he looks a little more relieved than he did earlier.
Okay.
Darius, yes, my liege. Still kind of unsure of what to call the prince. Join us. You need to see what happens if you cross the Prince of Houston. And, yes, Your Majesty, I understand. And he beckons for the two of you to follow him as he goes to make preparations to get a cart ready. With that, the camera is going to pan back over to the University of Houston, where it is a veritable bloodbath. You've got you've got this human woman who has been bitten into, and her blood is like flying all over the place. You've got Jace, who is in a frenzy on Samuel, and then 2 bodies. One, I believe the not Javier, the other guy that was with them. He had the stake in him, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah. So he's on the floor, and the same thing with Javier, the man in black. He is. So I know Jace is kind of in the middle of something with Samuel. Rebecca, are you holding on to Javier's body?
Both of the bodies are on the floor.
Okay.
I'm holding my knife on my hand, so in case someone somehow recovers from torpor, not that it's possible, I'm ready to take on the initiative and use my scorpion touch again.
Okay. He is not... all is quiet in this once raucous area of the university. Except for oh, jinx! Except for the sound of one vampire going after another. Samuel, whose face is gradually turning from pleasure to pain to now what little pigment was left in his body is now starting to fade. Partner, what are you doing? What are you doing, partner? Why?
And my claws just dig deeper into his shoulders and arms as I pin him down and continue to drain every last drop from him.
As the seconds to Samuel feel like hours, Jace, you start to feel like the resistance, you start to feel Samuel's resistance flutter and get weaker and weaker until eventually it's as if you're not just sucking on a slab of meat as his body goes limp. As you continue to drain Samuel for everything that's left in his body, I believe a check is in order.
Yes.
could very go
Should
into.
have had my dice ready.
You're fine. You're fine. So, you've drained poor Samuel and now are in the act of diablerie. Is that how you say it? Diablerie?
Diablerie.
Or Amaranth.
Or amaranth. So, the...
Not related to the Twitch streamer.
Right. Not related.
It was a popular Twitch streamer named Amaranth.
Does he stream Vampire the Masquerade? Because that's a missed opportunity.
She does hot tub streams, from what I understand.
My bad.
And was recently banned, actually.
Oh, dang. Probably for not playing enough Vampire.
Probably. So, Diablerie is not, I mean, what Jace had in mind. I don't even know if Diablerie is something Jace knows about.
No. I don't think so.
I don't think he knows that such a thing can happen. But the frenzy has taken over him, and I think his eyes have... well, hold on. I'll go into the Gangrel clan Bane after the frenzy finishes. So I need to make a strength plus resolve check. I don't think I'm using hunger dice for this check.
No.
I think it's just a regular thing.
Yeah, there it is. But
1, 2, 3.
It's one check. Difficulty at 3. Will you take his soul unto yours?
Those are my best stats.
Oh no.
I'm using 7 dice.
Oh no. You can willpower
The other person rolls as well.
Oh, okay.
To resist.
I only got 2 successes.
Oh, you sure you don't want to willpower that there, buddy?
No. No, I don't.
Well, I mean, that's a failure, so you don't perform Amaranth.
If you fail the strength check, what happens is that you cannot hold to the body, so you cannot proceed with the rest of the process. You're practically losing the chance of getting his soul's essence and devouring it into...
Yeah, so I think what's happening here is you start to feel this weird sense, like you're still able to take like his, not necessarily like his soul or his essence, but you're still taking what little like juices remain in his body. But you start to
Should the roll fail, the Diablerist loses an additional point of humanity for each success by which they failed. So because I missed 1 success, I straight up lose a point of humanity.
Yeah, but
it's not just a stain.
It's a loss of humanity as well.
Mm-hmm.
You start to feel more than just blood surge into you, almost as if memories and things that you're not familiar with just kind of surge into your mind. But before they're able to cement, before you're able to have emotion, you're no stranger to having emotions from feeding, but these are stronger than usual, almost as if you're feeling them in real time. Like this fear is coming into you, but before it's able to take hold of you, it's almost as if you're shunted away.
I get pushed off and almost because feeling fear myself, I crawl backwards up against the wall of the hallway, blood dripping from Jace's mouth, and as he looks up wildly, his Gangrel clan Bane comes into effect, which means I take on for a night or longer some sort of animalistic feature after frenzying. I was thinking his eyes turn like a bright yellow, like a wolf's or some sort of animal of prey. But you can change that if you like, storyteller.
I think for the night, you heard your claws were out. You try to bring your claws back in, but they're not. You can't retract them.
And he never even brought them out. So he's looking at them when, how, what happened? And he looks over at Samuel, and he goes and he's clutching at the man's chest and holding onto his shirt and lifting him up and slamming him back down into the stone floor, the marble floor, wake up, no, wake up, no.
the only sounds that you're greeted with are the sounds of your frantic handling of that body. And your claws aren't. You weren't expecting your claws to come out, so like as you're handling this body, it's getting torn up a little bit more and more because you're just not you are so used to you're a pro at this. You can bring those claws out, retract them, but they're there to stay.
No, stop it, no. And he looks up. Rebecca, what do I do?
You calm down. That's what you do. It was a fight. It is not your fault. Jace, look at me. It is not your fault.
I almost could feel him, his life force or his being like almost come into me. It scared the crap out of me.
It's over now. It is officially over. We won. We got this. This is over. Look at me. This is over. Everything is going to be alright from now on. The prince is on the way here. And he is going to fix everything.
Right.
It's part of the curse. It's part of who we are. Relax. Nothing bad happened here. He was dead already. We are all dead already.
Breathing heavily because he still had that blush of life from when we first walked in here. And as he finishes, as his breathing slows and finally comes to a stop, I think the blush fades and he resumes his natural corpse-like pallor.
Incredible.
Remember it. And try to avoid succumbing again into that monstrous condition. But frenzy is part of who we are. Just try to hold it next time.
He's looking down at his claws and he's like, this is why I try to only feed off of animals. Out there on the range, everything is so much more simple.
Yes, I know. I don't like getting to humans either. You never know when this is going to go wrong. And we may be monsters and have the beast live inside us, but it's our responsibility not to let it take over. Point is, we were in a fight. You were defending yourself and the city. There is nothing to feel guilty about. We just did our duty. And everything is going to be all right now. It's over. And I saw him like the corpses on my feet.
Yeah. Not the least of which a pool of blood now fills the hallway of this drained woman who has lost so much blood at this point. She is now dead.
Ah, shit. We gotta clean this up. And
no.
The
prince is coming.
Let
him see. The prince is on his way here. Let him see what we did. And then his cleaners are going to take over from here. And now that I see that he's calm, I'm opening my bag again and taking out vials to take blood from all of the vampire corpses on my feet.
Yeah, so it's still a little bit while before the prince is going to arrive, but yeah, for sure.
So I'm taking vampire vitae and seal the glasses.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. And I would imagine like Cisco is kind of like whinnying nervously, clopping in the
I think
hallway.
Like he's never seen you like this. Like you said, you don't see this kind of stuff out there in the and on the range. You don't see like this kind of action. You've never been this pushed to the brink before. So yeah, I think he is a little taken aback by what just happened.
Cisco, it's fine. And he holds up his hands, which are like these gnarled bestial claws now, and kind of like, I'm gonna take Cisco out of here. We need some fresh air, some grass.
Stay here, please.
You don't want me to wait at the front at least? Greet the prince when he comes?
With that on your hands, please no. Your potential bridge of the Masquerade, any second a mortal comes into this direction.
I guess you can take care of them if they show up.
There was a crowded construction site outside.
Let's wait for the prince. Those workers outside have no reason to come over here. But if they see you with that on your hands, we will have to justify a lot of things, and I'm not willing to mind control every person in a mile's perimeter from the university.
I understand. I'm gonna look down at Sammy's body. I'm gonna start going through his pockets and things.
Okay.
See if I can identify him, anything of his personal, anything, whatever he's got.
So, in his pocket there is like a billfold, like the kind of wallet, old-timey wallet. There's like some money in there, but nothing like of like importance. Nothing that really make a difference. Yeah, take the money, $2, which I guess in the 20s is a lot, but like, but
an ID.
There's really no ID. He has a pocket watch. It's like kind of loose to a chain. And when you, if you go to open it up, there's a little inscription on it, and it says, "Never forget, Joshua."
Sorry, Joshua. Sorry, Sammy.
He
closes the.
I'm sorry. When you, as well as when you open it up, there is what seems to be a little bit of vampire vitae now, like lodged underneath the glass, and like as the second ticks, it like smears a little bit onto the watch underneath.
He clicks it shut, puts it in his pocket, and then tries to like wipe his hands without ripping his clothes.
Yeah, it's rough. Got like Wolverine claws for fingers, all 5 of them.
Well, 10.
Oh, 10, sorry. All right. What passes for the next maybe 20 to 30 minutes is maybe there's some like small conversation between Rebecca and Jace, but like the aside from that, it's the silence in the university is quite deafening. The camera pans back to a carriage with Darius, Eleanor, the prince, and the person who's riding the carriage, like driving the carriage, I should say, is a human. And when they pull up to the construction site, you see the prince kind of just like move like the little like curtains away for like the brief second that they're stopped, and then they just continue on. They're able to continue on into the university. The prince, like Darius, steps out first. Eleanor, I don't think you guys have ever been to the university before tonight, have you? Eleanor, definitely Darius, definitely not Darius. Baton Rouge, it's quite a ways away. Even more so when there's no like when automotive travel is few and far between in this time. As the prince makes his way out of the carriage to the doors of the university, now wide open, hoof marks like being tracked into the university. He looks over to you, Eleanor, and he's like, "You certainly know how to put on a show."
What do you mean?
I'm very surprised that all of this happened under the noses of those nosy workers over there.
Oh, well, of course we take the most discretion, or at least try.
He looks over at Darius. He's like, "Let that be a lesson to you. You always are discreet, lest you let them know what is going on in the shadows." Darius is kind of just like Yeah, absolutely. It's just as if he's taking mental notes. The prince, you guys, so Jason and Rebecca, you hear the footsteps down the hallway, and the first person you see coming through is Darius, followed shortly by Eleanor.
Are you guys okay?
Yeah, I think we're doing all right. Greetings, Your Grace. He bows and quickly takes off his hat when he remembers that the prince is here.
He looks at you, Jason, and says, There's no need to be so stressed. I am told that all of the enemies are around here. You no longer need to have your weapons brandished."
Understood, and he just puts his hands behind his back.
He looks at the two bodies that are that are staked. He looks at the floor that's now just filled with blood, and he looks at
If I may, Your Grace.
Samuel, and then he looks over to Rebecca. Yes.
This is the man that created the situation. The rationale behind his actions was his high hopes of taking on the leadership from you, my lord, but we prevented that. The rest were just fledglings. Poor creations caught up in this barbaric plan.
He kind of goes over and stands over the body of Javier. This one, they look human.
Right. I think they are real young, Your Grace. Younger than us here. I think their blood seems to be thinner than what should be normal.
He looks at you with like a start, and his eyes are kind of wide. I don't know the word. I should have looked it up beforehand. But he kind of looks up at the word, like he utters a Spanish word for filth, or like almost like garbage. He's like, "So the end times are upon us." To think that the blood has grown so thin in these times. What is it, Eleanor?
What do you mean by the end is upon us?
Surely you've heard of the rumors, prophecies, the words beyond spoken in whispers among our kind. That when the blood grows so thin that it will surely spell the end of what the world as we know it.
I've heard it here and there, but it's hard to believe the word of barflies.
Well,
if I may, Your Grace.
He says before that, he says, it would seem that if the end is upon us, it is not as dangerous as I would have believed. Then he turns to you, Rebecca. Yes?
I could examine the remainings and determine the origins, if I may. The bloodline, the lineage, anything involving their blood, Your Grace.
How long would you need?
A few nights, maybe.
He kind of looks over.
I would like to go to the depth of the situation, but we do have all eternity. They are staked.
He kind of like
imagine
he looks at like kind of like brushes, like, you know, rubs on his chin a little bit, and he just says, I think for now I will take them with me. And like he kind of like claps again, like, and it seems as if like out of nowhere two hideous, grotesque Nosferatus appear, as if out of thin air.
Jace sees them and thinks about his hands and how they almost resemble the hands of these two kindred.
They kind of are like hunched over, and the prince says, "Take these away. Put them into the carriage." And like they kind of produce like these like big body bags, and they go to tailing up, and he's like, "We need to clean this up. See that you have people clean up this body and have it disposed of." And then he walks over to you, Jace. He says, "Now what happened here with this one?" As he points to the lifeless body of Samuel.
We were in a fight, and he kind of like looks at Rebecca who's behind the prince for a moment. We were in a fight. I did what I had to defend myself and this city.
He kind of bends down. Something he's like, it sounds a little awkwardly. You can tell that he's not used to like doing any work or like examining things himself. And he kind of like inspects the body just a little bit, and he finds where you bit into him. And he was like, "I see. Is there anything else you want to tell me?"
Apologies for not keeping him alive for you to interrogate him, my lord.
I know this much. The man in the black hat, Javier, was recruiting people who he felt shared a grudge against what the mortals would call the system, the way things are.
If he has a problem with the system, then he would have a problem with us, as we are the system itself.
Yes, I don't think he quite grasped what the Camarilla is capable of. He was still thinking of our structures as mortal, breakable.
And why would he?
Dreamers, really.
Why would he need to know of how our society works? He would never be accepted. He is nothing but filth, and he kind of spits on the ground. Well, I suppose he still is. This one still was. You have proven to me just last night that you will go to any lengths to see that this problem was taken care of, and I see that you continue to do so, Jace. I would have words with you tomorrow. But for now, I think you all should be congratulated on a job well done. Be prepared to receive a message tomorrow at the midnight rolls at 10 p.m. Make sure you are there.
Absolutely, Your Grace.
Thank you, sir.
He kind of looks, he looks at the two of them, and he's like, the two Nosferatu who are like busy bagging up the bodies. And they like, dispose of this one, and you too. He like nods, and like they kind of like give a curt nod as well. Then he looks over at Darius and says, "Darius, you will be coming with me. We will see them. We will see all of them tomorrow at the midnight rose." Darius kind of just like looks, like bows and all right, and he kind of looks over and like waves to all of you.
Eleanor's a little distracted at the look of the Nosferatu because their appearance is kind of like,
vile,
disgust. Yeah, disgusting.
Vile.
I was gonna ask. So yeah. Darius is technically a thin blood, also, right? Let's not bring that up to the prince.
I think it's a little bit harder for the prince to tell.
Okay.
maybe in a few years it'll be a little bit easier to tell, but for now, we'll see.
For now, oops.
Yep.
He also doesn't know that I have the blood of the other two, so I can actually examine it and be ready in
Well,
case
there you
he
go.
asks. Oops.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, ladies, I think it's best we get back to the Midnight Rose now. Maybe. He's still a little shook.
Wait. He said tomorrow, though.
Yeah.
About what time is it now?
Oh God, it's still super early. It couldn't be more than like 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 11.
Okay.
I will go to Jace and literally like touch him, grab his shoulder. Never, and I mean never, mention to anyone about drinking dry one of the blood. And I whisper it very close to him, so in case someone has auspex open, only then could hear me.
He's very straight backed, kind of tense as she whispers to him.
Never. Seriously, never, for your own sake.
Understood, ma'am. Now,
so yes, we could go to the Midnight Rose if you feel like it, or we could go home and rest and prepare for tomorrow. It's your call.
All right, that's what I was thinking. I'm staying there, so Miss Taylor, would you like a ride home?
Yes,
you
please.
better worry about this instead of, maybe take off your clothes, I guess, before you appear in public.
Yeah, I've got to change. And he goes over to Cisco and changes his shirt back to his green one from the night before. He's only got one shirt, but that's.
Can I have you roll like a straight dexterity check as you just straight dexterity?
Oh no!
As you go to change your shirt, because those claws make it very hard to change.
Of course it does. Yeah, straight dex. Guess who doesn't have any hunger?
One success.
One success.
Okay. The claws almost like, I mean, maybe it's not too much of a loss because the shirt that you're wearing is now covered in blood, but that one's almost completely ripped to shreds as you go to change your shirt.
God damn it.
Putting on the new one, a few little rips and tears on the sleeve, but for the most part it looks fine. Nothing that couldn't be explained away. I was just like working on the ranch.
And I'm gonna pull out like I probably have some like gloves that maybe I could throw on to like they're not gonna be usable after tonight, but at least they will cover my hands at least for the ride back.
It's kind of awkward because like they don't really cover your hands with your claws, like they're a little, it stands a little bit higher off your wrist than you would like, but yeah, no problem. You can at least go to the Midnight Rose and not arouse suspicion. People will be drunk.
Yeah.
People will be eat and drink and being merry. For tomorrow they may die. All right, so
it doesn't hurt them by accident.
Right.
Imagine shaking hands with someone now.
Yeah, but I mean, with no hunger after just being frenzied and almost performing Diablerie, I think that you're probably shaken up for the rest of the night.
Well,
you're probably
just shake his hands and you may not kill him, but injure him. So well,
I want to shake his hand. So you guys are gonna. So Ellie and Jace are gonna return to the Midnight Rose. Rebecca, are you gonna return back to your house for the night?
I will follow them to see what they're up to.
Okay. So when you guys leave the university, you see that there is a second carriage. And the prince is still like waiting for outside, and he's like, "This will take you to wherever you need to go." for the rest of the night.
Okay.
Thank
He
you
looks
for your
over it.
generosity, Your Grace.
It is the least I can do. You took care of a problem for me, and I believe at least our ride is in order. He looks over at you, Jason, says, I know that you may prefer the comfort of your own mount, but it is here if you need it.
Thank you, sir.
And you see like the two Nosferatu have finished loading up the bodies into the carriage. And so they
It's like a horse-drawn carriage?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, interesting. These horses... okay, cool.
And so like they all kind of pile into this carriage, and they ride off into the night, heading towards the courthouse.
So I might just hop in the carriage and have Cisco ride along.
Okay.
And so I whisper to Cisco, and I'm like, "Hey, okay, all right, you can just follow along. I shouldn't need to tie you up." And for the first time, Cisco's ears perk because I have now developed feral whispers and can use it to speak with my familius for free.
Ooh.
So
And he can respond.
Cisco,
Ooh.
how? Okay, so just mechanically speaking, how is his speech? Is he like? Can he only respond in simple manners, or can you have a full-on conversation with Cisco?
Technically, you can maintain a conversation, but
It's a conversation.
Okay.
it is going to be animalistic style. He will not be
Right.
like, come into the house. He will be more like, well, in your stable, he understands the world through a perspective of a horse.
Mm-hmm. He won't, like the description says, a cat might not be interested in debating Matisse's use of color, but happily discusses the lack of prey around the brownstone building across the street.
Got you.
So I'm like, you can just ride along, buddy. I shouldn't need to tie you next to it, right?
Cisco kind of responds like, I've worked very hard today. I appreciate I appreciate not having to carry anyone else.
Yeah, and you see Jace like nodding and kind of like weirded out as he like goes to stroke Cisco's mane and is like, well, maybe not, even with the gloves. Yeah, buddy, you did a great job today. So when we get back to the Midnight Rose, you feel free to head off to the pasture and take care of yourself. All right.
As he speaks to his horse, Rebecca is seriously just taking notes.
Yeah.
She's never seen someone actually having a conversation with an animal.
I really just want to go Mr. Ed and be like, golly, Jace, thank you. But no.
Cisco's not that goofy.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's a little bit more like you go to pet him, and he go and like you do it. He goes and you take away, and he takes note. He's just like, I've never seen you with claws.
Well, you probably have, buddy, but don't worry about it, okay? I'm sure that these will go away in time.
It seems like they would hurt. Yes, I think it's better if I just run alongside the carriage.
He doesn't want to be with me.
Oh.
Dude, like you got all these like monstrous claws, like.
He thinks I'm a monster. He's my best friend.
Had like Bojack's voice.
Yeah. Do you really think that I want to be ridden by you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No.
Stop it, Cisco, stop.
Turns off power.
All right, fine. Well, when we get back to the Midnight Rose, you know the place I'm talking about, right?
Of course. Yeah, we've been there the past couple nights. Okay. I'll just follow along. It's fine.
All right. He's a little
grass
awkward.
Isn't very tasty, but maybe they have an apple.
Yeah, I'll ask. I'll look over at Eleanor and be like, "Hey, we got apples for Cisco back at the."
You heard the man. You heard the horse.
We should have some.
And I say, yeah, she's got it. And Cisco's just like, because that's all you guys hear.
Got it.
Anyway, Jace will go and open the carriage door for the ladies.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, you may have. I know that you changed your shirt and everything, but with this nice little decorum, might still be stained with like some wet blood that might be on your shoes or pants still, from everybody. But for the most part, I mean, it's a nice enough carriage to get to take you where you need to go. And since you're all going to the Midnight Rose, all the better. You see that Cisco is at first keeping pace with like the carriage next to Jace, but then kind of moves forward as he is feeling a little bit more free without having to carry anybody on his back. So he's kind of keeping pace with the horse at the front of the carriage. If you didn't know any better, you could see that he was kind of enjoying just being able to run unburdened. As you all make your way to the Midnight Rose, you've all had an eventful night already. And the Midnight Rose is also quite an eventful night as well. It's Friday night. People are just getting off of work. It's now, like, at this point in time, it's about 11 p.m. And people are now, like, kind of, like, piling into the Midnight Rose. Like, you know, excited for the weekend. Let me get the music changed up over here.
I just remembered something. In another speakeasy, somewhere in the city, a cop is waiting for me, not knowing what he's waiting for.
Aww.
I love it.
Oops.
And you hear like a little record player or something going on in the back, playing some music. People are kind of letting their hair down. The top floor is even got some patrons as well. There's like 3 or 4 different. There is a booth that is seated with 3 patrons up there. And it's like when you walk in, I mean, everyone kind of like takes notice when you walk in, Eleanor, because this is your bar after all. So everyone kind of like, yay, like raises a glass to you as you walk in, but they don't really pay any mind to Jace or Rebecca.
Still a rouse check to appear human.
Okay, cool. Do you want to make a rouse check, Jay?
Does Eleanor also need to make one?
I mean,
Or hasn't.
Well, if she's going to mingle with the humans, absolutely.
that's true. If you're gonna
I mean, I'm just going straight upstairs. So.
well, you made a rouse check earlier, so does that still?
No. Change of scene.
Yeah, it's just
Change
a
the
scene.
scene.
I don't plan on talking to no humans tonight. I'm going straight upstairs.
Okay. The other, as you walk up to the stairs, the booth kind of like raises their glasses to you.
Do we recognize them?
I mean, you wouldn't.
Not those Brujas from the other night?
No. Not those Brujas. They don't really go to try to talk to you. Like, they just kind of keep to themselves. I think Rebecca might recognize them. Just kindred throughout the, just kindred who are just, you know.
One of the, 12?
One of, like, the 24, yeah, like
20,
24, 25 that we have here.
Yeah.
It's less than 30, more than 20. That's how
Okay.
that's how I'm describing it. Describing the kindred population here in Houston in the 1920s.
No Toreador friends.
Yeah, I mean they're just here to kind of just mingle with each other. They're not really trying to pay much mind. They don't come to try to talk to you at all, Jace or Rebecca. If you make your way up there, they're just kind of minding their own business. They're just there, which again, like for you, Eleanor, is nothing out of the ordinary. You know that you've been busy with with stuff going on in the past few nights. Maybe they just haven't had any orders from the prince to do anything, so they're just kind of just enjoying this like time off that they've had.
Okay, I'm going behind the bar to Sebastian. And since it's Friday night, let's just assume that we have one other person who helps on the weekends.
Yeah, his name is Maxwell, and he is all Butterfingers. You hear like a glass shatter in the background, and then Sebastian just kind of sighs like it's the third one this evening.
Let's say he's someone's nephew and we're like letting him help.
Yeah, it's fine.
That boy is costing me more than he's worth. Hey, hun. And she gives him a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, and then you hear like a couple of drunkards that go, woo!
I might need to talk to you a little bit later, but we got company upstairs. Did you catch that possum like I asked?
Possum.
Yes, for Jace. Remember I said please keep some animal in stock.
He kind of like, oh yeah, the possum. Yes. I took care of that.
Did you or?
He did.
Okay.
But he was like, he's like, I thought that a cat might be better than a possum, so I got that instead.
I guess that's fine. He really didn't say he had a preference.
I don't really understand what. I don't know. This is so.
Anyways,
so, yeah,
it's okay. Like I said, I think things went really well tonight, so we'll talk about it. But in the meantime, help me with these glasses. I need to take them up.
Yeah. Yeah. So Maxwell just like comes over. Well, hi, Miss Tyler. How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, dear. You being careful tonight?
Oh, I'm doing my best. I sure do appreciate you bringing me on. Sure could use the extra money. Yep.
Well, if you want to keep earning that money, son, I'm gonna need you to make sure the glasses stay in your hand or on the counter. Okay?
Absolutely, you can count on me. And he goes to like salute you, but then like almost drops another glass, but catches himself real quick.
If I wasn't good friends with your mama, okay.
Do you make your way upstairs? You said.
Yeah.
And I believe that. So Rebecca, are you up there as well with everyone else?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm taking some last notes for the night.
Okay. As you make your way up there, Ellie, you see that, there's other 3 kindred. You've seen them before. One of them is, in fact, the Toreador. So, like, you have that in common with them. The other ones are, oh God, we need to think of something. Chat, help us think of some more clans for these NPC vampires. They kind of like the Toreador comes up to you. It's a man, and he's wearing like a very, very nice like leather outfit, very similar in fashion to Jace, but like a little more colorful, like a little fancier, and definitely not stained with anything that's on the like anything that could have been attributed to like working out in the fields.
So he's all about the fashion of it.
Yeah.
So he's like from Fort Worth or something.
He comes over and he's like, Eleanor, it's certainly a pleasure to be here again.
Oh, it's been a while. Where have you been?
Oh, you know me, I've just been kind of wandering around looking after these, I've been looking for new artwork to hang in the gallery up in the museum.
I hope you found something. I'd like to go check it out.
It's a little Spartan around these parts. I mean, people here are good at handling horses and good at working the fields, but they're just terrible when it comes to anything abstract or creativity, throwing colors on a canvas.
Well, this is Texas.
I don't mean to be nosy, but I heard words going around the city that you were doing some work for the prince.
You know, there's always idle gossip. So few of us around here.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to see if what I'd heard around these parts had any merit to it.
Well, you know, he needs all of us here and there for a little odd job. So, yeah, I help him from time to time.
I got you. As do we all. Whenever the prince comes a knocking, we got to answer.
What else can we do?
Again, forgive me if I'm overstepping my boundaries, but who are your friends here? And he goes and like motions to Rebecca and Jace.
a few out of town guests. You may have seen. This is Rebecca. You may have seen her. She's been here a couple of nights. And this is my new friend Jace.
Muted.
You.
Jace.
Howdy.
Hey there. He kind of tips his hat to Rebecca. And then he looks at you and he's like, hey, partner, like, you might want to take care of that little situation with your gloves on. You know, I'm not trying to, those might be fighting words in other places.
I'm not the one who's wearing my hat indoors, sir.
He just kind of looks at you up and down. He's like, an out-of-towner, huh? It must be from Dallas. Got a little bit of spunk on you.
Yeah, you don't seem to have a lick of grime on you. And those look like working boots. Interesting.
Oh, you like them? Got them made for me myself. Maybe I can get you a pair if you're so inclined.
Sorry, you didn't give us your name, sir.
My name? Jason.
Jason. Well.
So, Mr. Jason,
Jason,
can we help you with something?
Just wanted to come over and make my acquaintances. Just it's always nice to see new faces in town. I just was wondering where there's talk going around of newcomers in the city that may not be welcome, but if you're hanging out with Miss Taylor here, then I reckon you're all right.
Jason here is our socialite, if you can call Houston a society.
I wouldn't call it that much either, he says.
And they cackle in Toreador.
Cackle in Toreador. It's very obnoxious.
Yeah. I can't do it, but just let's pretend that Eleanor is speaking a little more high class since she's with the Toreador.
No worries. Yeah, I get it. The other two kind of get up. And you know what? Yeah, I think venture would be good for these two. They kind of go, hey, Jason, I think it's about time that we got out of here. Looks like we got what we needed. And,
what does that
May
mean?
I roll a perception, intelligence, empathy, wit, sympathy, something with empathy?
Insight.
Yeah, go ahead and roll
Insight. Sorry.
With wits.
I'm going to do the same if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Just about to be like,
go for
it.
Okay,
I'm going to spend a willpower.
I got a critical, and I have a specialty in motives. So it is 4 successes for me.
Okay.
I also got 4 by spending a willpower.
Okay. So you can tell that they're kind of like sizing you up. Like kind of seeing, like, again, like there is talk around the town of like, newly turned vampires, and you can tell that these people were trying to get a feel for if you're the ones that they're on the lookout for. I think with Rebecca though, you're probably feeling a little bit more of maybe they were sent here by the prince to kind of investigate a little more thoroughly what you two look like. I mean, you're getting this feeling that they might be kind of talking to you to see what you're like outside of like when the prince is not around.
Being able to understand that, Rebecca sits back more calmly and slightly more joyful.
It's just like, yeah, so like Jason's is like, well, if we got what we came here for, then, good times and good drinks. Something you can always rely on Miss Taylor here for.
Thanks.
So what about the rest of you? Are you going to introduce yourselves?
No, we're good. I think we'll see you tomorrow.
Sure. So, Mr. Jason, unknown gentleman, have a graceful night.
Same to you. And then like Jason goes over and just very, very rudely, by the way, Miss Eleanor, I love what you've done with your hair, and goes to like grab at your hair.
Do I still have my super fast reflexes on so I can like...
Different scene.
Yeah, it's a different scene, so you'd have to rouse the blood. I mean, I don't think you're gonna frenzy.
Okay, what do I roll for this?
A hunger
It's
check.
free.
Oh, it's free.
The free,
It's free. You can just do it whenever.
but I'm rolling how many? Or I'm
Rapid.
rolling what kind of
You don't have to roll anything. You can just.
rapid reflexes? Okay,
Yeah, so you just go to like slap his hand away.
2 6.
All right, yeah. Pop.
Excuse me, we are not that familiar.
Forgive me. I just, you know how it is with us. I love looking at things that are just beautiful.
And you know how it is with y'all.
Looking is exactly what you need to keep in mind. Look, don't touch.
What she said.
He's like, got it.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
And he like turns around and like, all right, evening everybody.
Mr. Jason, please keep in mind that you wouldn't like anyone touching your paintings in the gallery.
He can't that one kind of like hits him. He's like, wait a minute. Could I have been in the wrong? Could I? He has this epiphany like, wait a minute. But if she's like that, then maybe others are like that. Like, you see like a little meme of like the woman doing the math in her head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways.
Literally, Rebecca has reached out for her knife inside her bag. She's not okay with what's happening.
Oh wow! I've been holding these drinks this whole time. I'm sorry. Let me pour you something. Puts a drink down on the table.
Oh no, we're fine. Your hospitality knows no bounds, ma'am, and we'll be seeing you quite soon.
She was talking to us.
Oh yeah, maybe I'm. Again, maybe
I thought you had left already.
Maybe I'm not the
what's going on
center
here.
of attention. What is happening? Like, yeah, they go and make their way out of here. They go and make their way out of the bar.
Miss Taylor, where is his museum located exactly?
Would you like to burn it down, Mr. Phillips?
Not too far from the university. I think they're building up a new little district for museums.
Interesting.
Houston, of all places.
It certainly would be a shame if a whole bunch of mice started eating up his paintings, wouldn't it?
Or maybe a horse could walk into the gallery.
Oh, that'd be a little too obvious now, don't you think, Rebecca?
I know some of us toreadors can be insufferable, but there's not many of us around here, so I'll take what I can get.
Who does he think he is?
Who knows?
Does he even have a title in the society? And he dares treat you like that in your own domain? But I'm fine.
Does anyone have a title other than...
You, your keeper, right? So you've got, because you're maintaining this
practically you have
space.
a point. You have a .2 title status, which means that if he has no higher status than you, this is not a behavior to go with.
Mm-hmm.
He does not.
He definitely
does not have. He definitely does not have as high a standard in the or high of. Yeah, he is not at the same level as Eleanor in this society.
I've seen his lack before. Eleanor, I think he's just jealous.
He's just rude.
Both believable. But Jace, I had Sebastian catch you an animal. He said it's a cat. I wasn't sure if you like possum cat better. I assume possum because you're out in the wild. But he got a cat.
That'll be fine. I prefer to hunt for my dinner, to be honest. But this will be great. A little nightcap. Not really hungry after what happened.
Understandable. And Rebecca, I think this was the type you drank the other night. I'm just going to assume whatever blood type you had ordered that night.
I wouldn't mind to pay for a glass or 2 or 3 or more.
Yeah. After what you guys did today, don't worry about it. It's on me.
Ooh.
Kindly appreciate it. You have my undying grade. Oh, you see, I'm famished.
Everybody a glass.
So Rebecca would literally try to keep it calm, but would drink a lot and practically devour whatever is in front of her right now because she's extremely hungry.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So I dropped to hunger 1,
Nice.
Mr. Storyteller.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So the night kind of drags on. The speakeasy goes up and down in patronage as the hours pass. And before you know it, it's dawn is upon you. What do you guys do as the dawn approaches?
I will go home and rest. Rebecca would spend some time concentrating on the vitae she took from the torporing kindred.
Okay.
And be ready for tomorrow.
Perfect.
Before Jace leaves, she's gonna get an apple from her apartment and give it to him for. I just forgot the horse's name.
Thank you, ma'am.
He was a hard worker
I'm
too.
sure Cisco will appreciate this.
Yeah, he's got to eat too.
He said,
Oh no.
Yeah, he said he was pretty tired lagging. There we go.
There it is.
Yeah, he said he was pretty tired after carrying all of us. I've never heard him speak before.
Interesting.
I'm sure he did.
He did, ma'am. Sorry, I knew it was possible. I've heard a few of the Nosferatu being able to talk to animals as well. I just didn't realize it's a new thing for me.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
So he nods, and he's going to head back to the field. Make a rouse check to earth melt. Doesn't gain any hunger.
Nice.
And
so you go to bed satiated.
Goes under. His hat just kind of sitting on top of the earth where he went down.
And Ellie?
So she's gonna help clean up the bar until maybe just before dawn, and then head off to bed.
And now the sun is setting, and the moon is out on the third day. And I'm going to have everybody roll as we do for hunger.
Hungry.
All right. So just roll one hunger dice, Ray.
But I get all my willpower back.
Hey.
Yay!
No, you're good.
Success.
Not hungry.
I've been doing very good at not being hungry.
Yeah, you've been keeping a lid on it, so to speak.
Well, I have like easy access.
Gotcha.
And the other thing is, I wouldn't have been
being bored.
Sorry?
The only reason I was able to get down to 0 hunger was because I killed a person.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Yeah.
So one
True.
hunger, like when Jace rises from the earth, he's like, okay, well, I'm starting to feel a little bit normal again until he looks down and his hands are still claws.
I think that more so than anything, like feeling one hunger is probably a little bit more comforting than feeling no hunger anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of what you had to go through to achieve that state of nothing.
Right.
But again, like if that wasn't reminder enough, your claws are very
And
much.
it's just for tonight. It's only one night afterwards. But that's still enough.
So the prince said that he would come to meet you all at the Midnight Rose at 10 p.m.
Mhm.
And I think that Rebecca wanted to do something beforehand. So I think we should go ahead and talk about that. So Rebecca, you said that you want. Can you describe to me exactly what it is that you're going to be doing, real quick?
So yesterday night, before leaving the university, I took my little vials, some of the vitae of the two vampires I sent to torpor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to taste the blood and see what I can understand from the taste. I may be able to tell the generation, the species. Well, I know they're kyanite, but the kindred, apologies. But maybe determine if they're actually thin bloods, maybe see if they committed diablerie in the past. It depends on my successes. So practically I'm using blood sorcery on the samples. And I'm going to go for the first one, the unidentified man.
Okay.
Yeah, one die on the floor.
Oh, I hear it. Getting away from you.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes.
So that is a win. So yeah, you definitely identify them. Like you said before, they are definitely kindred, as you knew that much already. And I think that the generation and blood potency is so the blood potency you can tell just from the success, and it is not potent. There is no potency in this blood. Truthfully,
So
they are
thin bloods.
thin bloods. Not that you not that you get this without a crit, but you would assume that they are at least of the 14th generation, because vampires are still abound here in Houston. So that is for the first unidentified man.
I'm going to do the same for Javier. I'm going to use willpower.
Okay.
To reroll. Okay, so 4 successes again.
Yeah, same thing. There is no blood potency in this blood.
And now I have dice all over my floor.
Yeah.
Now you're
So
gaming.
Javier is also thin blood.
Did you take his blood?
Yeah.
You have Darius's blood?
Oh. No, I'm talking about
Javier.
Javier.
Right.
So,
good point. Yeah, so I'm not saying yes, but
no potency means that he is.
Exactly.
So, keeping that in mind, I'm going to go to the Midnight Rose to see the others and be able to inform the prince of my findings.
No!
Very well.
Oh my god! Drama.
So, so Rebecca makes her way to the Midnight Rose. This, maybe, like, that takes all of, a few seconds just to taste their blood anyway, so... Yeah, it's
like 5 minutes to, I don't know, concentrate and think.
Nothing, no time at all. So yeah, by the time you guys get to the Midnight Rose, it's still pretty early. Or by the time you get to the Midnight Rose, it's still early enough in the evening. Eleanor and Jace. Let's start with Eleanor. What are you doing as the moon rises?
So it's Saturday now, so it's going to be a very busy day. Eleanor woke up and came downstairs to find Sebastian already setting up the bar for the night. And what's-his-face hasn't arrived yet, so it's just Sebastian down there.
Yeah.
I was going to let you start. Okay. So, do vampires get sleepy? So she's yawning. She needs her morning cup of... a morning cup to drink. that she mixes a little bit with a little bit of coffee. It's just her tradition. So she's making that as he's cleaning the bar. Good evening, babe.
How are you doing?
I'm feeling hopeful, but you know, with the prince coming and all, I have to admit I'm quite nervous.
I can understand that. God, his accent is all over the place.
It's okay.
Well, I think what's going to happen is that I think you just need to do what you always do and just be the reliable and amazing woman that I know you to be. And you know, no matter what the prince says, know that I got your back.
She's like holding her cup like kind of tightly. I know, but we're just so close. So close.
Well, all we can do is wait now and see what happens. And if anything goes south, you know, I'll be here for the night.
Well, we still got that good decanter.
Of course.
Got to make sure everything's just right tonight. I guess I'll start getting set up upstairs, make it look nice.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Jace, what are you doing as the sun sets and the moon rises?
Yeah, so when Jace comes back up, he sees his claws there, and he goes for the gloves, but he can tell that already the insides have been kind of ripped up. And then if these gloves probably aren't in any condition to hide his hands anymore. Ah, shit. Damn it. And he's trying to like wipe the dirt and earth off of his shirt as his only clean shirt now. And like just kind of like rips a few holes in his shirt as he does so. And he's like, ah, shit. Damn, goddamn. I think Cisco like...
Yeah, Cisco will come up to you and say, are you in trouble? Is there a predator?
No, Cisco. It's just... I thought these claws would be gone, but they're still here. And, well, gotta hide these. I can't... the prince wouldn't look too kindly on them. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No. Prince?
The head of the herd here in Houston.
Oh.
He's got very specific ways of how we need to run and how we need to protect each other. And, well, I'm just worried about disrespecting him.
You are a strong one. You are a strong man. You can help your herd. And this prince will see that.
I sure hope so. Yeah, I mean, if this goes well, then I've made connections with all the princes, the big princes of Texas, and my resume is starting to look pretty clean, pretty good. So, resume. Forget about it. You're free to roam. Just try not
that
to
a type of food resume?
Sure. Just try not to go too far tonight, Cisco. I shouldn't need you, but I'm just worried about if someone sees you roaming free. I don't want you to get taken.
Oh, I'll be tied up again.
If you are, you will be tied up. But I don't want to tie you up, especially now that we can like talk like this. It just doesn't seem right.
Yes. Now that you can hear me, we've always talked, but you don't seem to listen. I'm glad you listen now.
I'm sorry about that, buddy.
Do what you need to do. I will be here. And he just like kind of like gallops off. I wish I had coconuts. Like, yeah. So everybody goes into the bar.
Right, I'm gonna kind of be a little eyes wide and be like, I'm lagging. Let me turn off roll 20, see if that helps at all. A fresh shirt I could change into, maybe some gloves. These things are still here.
Yeah, are you asking that to Eleanor, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find something real quick. So she's gonna run up to the apartment, see if I'm guessing his shirt's still kind of torn and dirty. Okay, so she's going to go into the apartment and get one of Sebastian's dress shirts, as well as see if she has any like work gloves or something.
I think you'd definitely have work gloves. I mean, this is like in the warehouse district, and you have to take care of like working in all of like the hair products that you have in the warehouse. So,
fair chemistry going on back there. Okay, she's gonna get a dress shirt. I'm assuming Sebastian might be a little larger, but we do what we can do.
Yeah, it's just it's a little loose on Jace, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, Jace isn't a small guy by any means.
Okay. Cool. So I have these work gloves, but I also have a shirt. I can help you.
Ooh, that's mighty fancy.
If that's okay, or if not, Sebastian can help you. If you want to change.
Either or, and he just takes his claws and rips off the shirt that he's wearing.
Do you say
Sebastian just kind of looks and he's like, "That's my favorite shirt, man. Like, please don't do that to my favorite shirt."
Okay. So
try not.
Eleanor's going to put the gloves down and then unbutton the shirt, and then try to maneuver. Just put your arm carefully through this one.
That's
all right. Now this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with two people doing it, it's no problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Spiffy. Wow, all Sebastian's clothes is going to everyone else. Because didn't
Darius
takes some clothes too.
I mean, thankfully he's got a toreador dressing him, so he always gets good looking clothes.
Hey.
I've got some money.
Pay no mind. You've gotten us this far. I'm very grateful to you.
Yes, and Rebecca, you've made your way to the bar as well.
Is it crowded?
No, I think by the time you arrive, like people are probably starting to like just show up, but nothing too crowded just yet.
I'm going to head to the second floor immediately in order not to gather any attention and avoid performing a rouse check before beating the prince.
I know that like the crowd in the background sounds much livelier than it is, but anyways, yes. So you made your way to the second floor. Jace, are you making your way up there as well?
Definitely, as soon as I'm dressed.
So you all make your way up there. 9 p.m. rolls around, 9:30. And almost as if on the dot at 10 o'clock, the door to the speakeasy opens up. It's Jason from the night before, the toreador that you all met the night before. He kind of makes his way to the second floor. Says, "Evening, everybody."
Good evening, Jason. Back again another night?
Well, it's like the prince said, he was gonna be calling on you tonight, but he's calling on everybody. We're all
everybody,
full court.
Like the entire city of.
The prince is holding court tonight, y'all.
He never prepares me for how many people or when he's gonna come. And Eleanor starts.
Oh no, man!
Back down this.
Oh no, man! We're going to the theater tonight. He's holding it in the theater.
Oh.
You know the prince. He likes to put on a show.
Maybe a check here, an inside check. Wits.
Oh, sorry, wits and wits and insight.
Insight.
Yeah, wits and insight. Sorry.
Okay, so my specialty counts. 3 successes. Motives.
I mean, this guy's telling the truth. The prince is holding court. He's wanting to, he's trying to get everybody, all of the kindred in the city, all the Camarilla, to come down to the courthouse. He's looking to address everybody in one fell swoop. He's got a message to tell everyone.
When did you find out that information, Mr. Jason? When did the prince inform you?
He's going to. He says, "Well, you know, ma'am, the prince lets us know when he lets us know. But rolling off of your successes that you just got, so you don't have to worry about rolling again. You can tell that he probably got this information the night before, whether that was before or after you saw him. It's beyond your recognition, but he definitely seems a little less surprised than he's acting to."
Wait, and he was told to come tell us, or?
Mm-hmm. He was come collect you.
Okay. Got it.
Now, I mean, so yeah, we're going to be heading up to the theater downtown, so if y'all want to hitch a ride with us in our carriage, I mean, I got plenty of room.
Oh, a carriage. That's greatly appreciated.
If you lie to us by any chances, this is not going to end well, Mr. Jason.
I'm okay. Sounds good to me, lady. Like, I mean, if you want to walk, that's fine.
All right. Jace just stands silently and says, "Well, lead the way."
Right this way. And he says carriage, but it's a car that you all get into. It's pretty fancy. You know, only the best for him. He's got a driver, human driver. Opens the door for all of you. And let me go ahead and change the music as we leave the speakeasy.
I wish I could hear the music.
As the car fires up, you guys begin heading into downtown. It's a kind of awkward situation where I think it's probably you guys are sitting facing each other like you would be in a carriage. So it's Rebecca and Jace facing Eleanor and Jason. And he just says, "I don't know. Like I said, I knew y'all were working for the prince, but this is crazy. Like, we don't... I can't even... I think the last time we held court like this was... What? Year ago? 2 years ago? Something like that?
Oh, yeah. When that one guy did that thing. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, just... I don't know. Something's going on in this city, and I'm not... I'm interested to see what's going on here tonight. Y'all wouldn't happen to know what's going on here, would you? I was just told to come collect you."
Jace looks at Rebecca and then at Eleanor, but doesn't say anything. Maybe even smiles just a little bit.
I look with straight face at Jason and say nothing.
He gets at Elijah. He gets at Elijah Wood face like, "All right, keep your secrets, Gandalf." No. He's like, "All right, well, I'm sure. I mean, sure enough, we're gonna find out what the hell's going on here in just a little bit." Were you gonna say something, Eleanor? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. You all make your way to the downtown. To the theater, and sure enough, there are people gathered outside. Various drivers, various people off horses, all dressed in all manner of sorts. So it's definitely not a play going on. People still dress up for the theater, pretty hardcore in this time. So it's definitely not a play.
if I can, I'll like kind of lean over to Eleanor and be like, Eleanor, are there any other gangrels here in the city?
Storyteller, I know of two, right?
Yeah, you know of two.
The only ones I know are the ones we met in the park the other night.
Those are Bruja.
Those were.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's
sorry.
there's a few in the city.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few here and there in this city.
You mind pointing out my clansmen if you can?
Oh yeah, I will.
You see
Clansman's not the right word. No.
They're all wearing white. No, I'm just kidding.
Nope, that's not the
X
right
card.
word.
X card.
All
Yes.
right. Sorry about that.
No,
I
you're
take it
good.
back. I take it back. He like looks at her and he's like, I mean, the other gangrels.
It's canon. It's canonical.
Sorry, ma'am.
She like side eyes him.
Good God.
Okay.
This is why we don't drink wine on a stream.
Just thinking.
Yeah, so
he talks to horses. He's talking about clans.
This white man's crazy. I can't.
just cannot deal with him.
Okay, Giggle's gone.
Yeah, so you definitely point out the other gangrels, and there's maybe about 5 of them. I'll say there's 5 of them. And they all are they're just very similarly to Jace. They all are look like they've had they all are looking like clothes that have seen a hard day's work. They all look like they know what a hard day's work look like. And they're kind of keeping to themselves. They're not really intermingling with anybody else.
Right.
Meanwhile,
I mean, I'm wearing dirty jeans and boots with a clean dress shirt tucked into it, so it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, you would fit right in if not for that shirt, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
The other shirts you were wearing before? Yeah.
I'm gonna try and catch their eye. Maybe tip my hat if they look over.
Are they all men or anyone?
Yeah, the gangrels are all men. This is a mostly male, mostly male court. There are a few female, there are a few women scattered throughout the group. Even less non-white people. I would say throughout all of with here you can clearly count that there are indeed 26 kindred in the city that have gathered that you were able to see outside.
Yeah,
Not nearly enough
so
to.
few women.
Yeah, of that maybe 3 or 4 of them are women.
Wow, we would have tried to save more women if we knew that.
Right.
Yeah. And of those
You
25,
see, Rebecca is writing it down.
just knocking it down.
Notes.
Yeah, so Rebecca is
population.
definitely you can definitely feel the eyes kind of staring at you because with a population of women so low in this city, people are just kind
And
of
nobody
looking.
knowing my clan.
Exactly.
Right.
Good luck with that.
They're just
The other thing
looking
is-
at you what the fuck? Who's
I've
that?
got status as a background, so a few people might actually
Oh,
know
yeah.
who I am. The other gangrel, at least.
So yeah, you said that you tipped your hat to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them approaches you and says, "Evening, sir. I don't mean to put you out or anything, but you wouldn't happen to be you're not from around these parts, are you?"
I've ridden through Dallas a few times. To Houston a few times, but no, I haven't spent a lot of time here. This would be my first court.
Now, I don't mean to be, again, I don't mean to presume, but you're not going to make a whole lot of friends with those claws out like that. You know what you're doing?
I'm wearing gloves.
Well, come on now, partner. I think you would know.
I don't know. I don't know what else to do about it. And he kind of looks at him with this hard stare.
What's your name? I feel like I feel like there's something here.
Jace Phillips, sir. And can I ask yours?
Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from over more western parts. I think I've heard of you.
I mainly ride the range between Dallas to San Antonio.
Gotcha. My name's Sammy. And that name kind
And
of
you like flashback to the night before and
Yeah.
Samuel. All right.
Oh no.
Sammy. Nice to meet you.
nice. Yeah, likewise. Now I've ridden through Dallas on business before, and I feel like I've heard about more gangrel out there, and one that kind of kept to themselves, had a horse for a friend.
From my experience, we all tend to keep to ourselves, friend.
Ain't that the truth, brother? Dallas, crazy place. Folks ain't right out there.
If you say so.
Very, very coded language right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to come by and greet you. So yeah, my name's Sammy, and you might, I don't know if you know. I mean, you being new to the city and everything, and everyone here, if you need anyone to sit with, you're more than welcome to sit with us. I know that he looks over back at Eleanor, and he's like, I know that the talking to a rose can kind of get a little stuffy from time to time. If you want something a little more down to earth, feel free to come our way.
I suspect the prince will be wanting to see me with my two companions here tonight, but if you wouldn't mind putting a good word with your primogen for me, I'd appreciate it.
Oh well, me being the primogen and all, I wouldn't. Okay, let's talk. Oh no, trust me, I've been in this game for a while. I'm still learning the ins and outs of it myself.
I'm surprised that Prince Savid called on an outsider to track down this killer that's been running loose through Houston. Is there some bad blood between the two of you?
Can I have you roll with a charisma and not manipulation? Let's see here.
Charisma and etiquette?
I'll allow it.
Or persuasion?
Ooh, persuasion would be better.
Okay. I'm gonna rouse the blood so I can get an extra die on this.
He's gonna frenzy at this meeting.
That's a failure. So.
Oh gosh.
Easy, partner. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna use a willpower to re-roll my 3 non-hunger dice.
Okay.
There we go. So they went from 1 success to 4 successes.
Yeah. So he kind of leans in a little bit closer. He's like, now between you and me, if I'm just being honest, I know that Eleanor over there could probably take care of herself. She's proven herself capable in the prince's eye from time to time. She's well liked and well known here in the city. But having 2 outsiders like you, I'm willing to bet the prince, had you not been able to live up to the prince's expectations, he'd probably want people he could, survive to let go or let die, hunting down these killers.
Does he often execute those who fail him?
I don't know about executing. Not really. No, I mean, we tend to.
Oh, you mean
had you died or something, he probably wouldn't have felt too upset, too heartbroken over it, letting a couple of outsiders.
I see. Excuse my misunderstanding.
Oh no, you're fine, partner.
So he'd rather send unknown resources into dangerous situations.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself.
Jace kind of frowns, like he's thinking, that's not very smart. Send people you know that are reliable and dependable. But all right. Okay. Well, thank you, Sammy. Last name?
Davis. I don't know. Just throw off the...
Do you have a William yet? Williamson?
Sammy Williams.
Sammy Williams. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Perhaps after court, I'll come by. I'm staying out behind the Midnight Rose for now, but if you've got a place I can come and meet up and discuss. We could do if you wouldn't mind letting me know when the next moot might be. It's a gangrel meetup.
I figure, well, if you're going to be around these parts for quite some time, we figure out. I'm sure he can tag along. No problem.
It's a gather or a thing, not a moot.
Gather.
The next gather? Okay, all right. I should be here for a little while more.
Perfect. Well, I'm gonna get back to my kin. So.
Thank you, sir.
Kind of dabs his head. At this point, you see like the front doors of the theater like open up. And a human male walks out, very young man. She's like, "The show will now begin. Please make sure you have your tickets." And like you hear a couple of people just start like chuckling to themselves, like they don't have tickets. This is all just for appearance. And he's like, "Please, right this way." And people start piling into the theater.
I just had a flash to Loki looking for my ticket.
And he just get disintegrated.
Spoilers. All right, so Rose is just sorry. Oh God, I did it. Eleanor is just gonna start walking in because she's been to a meeting like this before.
Yeah, it's people are kind of sitting with who they know. People are kind of sitting with their kin. But it is you see that they're not sitting in even rows. They're kind of just sitting sporadically throughout the floor of the theater.
If y'all are kind of hesitating, I'm gonna kind of motion to y'all to follow me to some seats, not in the front row, but maybe in the middle-ish area, where we can sit eye line to the stage. I'm assuming it's a stage. Wait, sorry, is this movie theater one that has a stage?
It's a stage theater, not where they have plays, not like a movie theater.
Not the cinema.
Yeah. So we're gonna sit kind of in the middle, eye line to the stage.
Okay.
I'd like to be nearer to the aisle.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I follow them.
The rest of the kindred kind of bustle in, and the conversation's just as lively, but just quieter. People are just now starting to whisper, and then eventually you see a big big light come onto the stage, and the curtain kind of it's drawn and pulls and parts in the middle. And it reveals an empty stage. And then you see the prince kind of walking with this you see the prince walk onto the stage with purpose and a little bit more pensive than you saw him the night before. He looks a little put out by this himself. He's like, "My fellow kindred, I thank you all for joining me here on this busy night. I apologize for the interruption of any business or social gatherings that may have been planned for this evening. But something has happened here in the city of Houston that needs to be addressed, and everybody needs to know of what has been going on." And he kind of claps his hands again, his little, and you see Maurice is coming out carrying what appears to be a giant crucifix, and on the crucifix is one of the bodies of the body of the unidentified man from the night before. And he kind of stands it upright and mounts it onto the theater. Then shortly behind him, Darius it brings out a second crucifix of the body of Javier, the man in the black hat. Although he's no longer in a black hat, he is looks like, he's in the same condition that you guys saw him last night, but they're just like strung up on these like crucifixes. And he's like, as you know, as the prince, I am well within my rights to grant permission to sire. Many of you have asked and sought out my permission, and I have indulged very sparsely, but I have indulged these requests. However, this one over here, and like he points to Javier, says this one took it upon himself to break that rule and make sires, and to sire individuals without my consent. This one is unknown to me. I imagine he is unknown to a lot of you. The scum is believed to be of a younger generation. A generation too young. I cannot confirm or deny this myself. All I know that is I am within my rights as prince to deal out the punishment for breaking our rules. We follow these rules to protect ourselves. I follow them just as all of you have followed them. But when you break the rules, there are consequences, and they are far-reaching. And the consequence for breaking these rules is death. He looks over to he points to the other sired, he points to the unknown man. And he says, now this one was sired by this younger generation. Many of you may have heard whispers in the night of what will happen in the future when our blood grows so thin that it could bring about the apocalypse, the end of life as we know it. I try to not take it upon them. I try not to place the blame on the victim, but in this certain situation, I cannot take any chances. Let this all be a message. Let this be a message to all of you. That I may be, I follow the rules. I may be a fair prince, but I will do my duty in making sure that my city is kept safe and that all of you are kept safe. And he claps his fingers again, and Maurice reappears on the stage with a sword. And he goes to cut down the unknown man, like from the crucifix, and then cleanly like decapitates him. Then before he does, so he cuts down Javier so he can like easily decapitate him. But then he says, no. Wait one moment. And he goes and takes the stake that's in Javier and removes it. And Javier kind of like looks around for a second. Where am I? What is this? What sorcery is this? And the prince kind of like kicks him over. And he was like, you filth. You have desecrated the sacred streets of Houston. I was told that you wish to gain power and to reign supreme here in the city. But this is what true power looks like. Gathered here in front of all of us here in the city. These are the ones that you were going to truly disrupt. And I cannot allow that in my city. Have you anything to say for yourself before the deed is done? And Javier just kind of looks up. And he was like, I just wished for a better future for everyone. For us and mankind alike. Maybe one day it will happen, but as long as we cling to the old ways, things will always go about the same. nothing will change. And the prince kind of like goes and like puts his hand on his head, or puts his hand on Javier's head, and says, "You will not live to see that future." And then he walks away, and Maurice comes to deliver the blow with the sword and decapitates him. He also then has Darius come and collect the bodies and removes them from the stage. Maurice with the heads. The curtain like falls and like the prince steps out in front of it. So like he's like in front of the curtain as the show, so to speak, is over. He's like, "Now, again, I thank you all for your attendance here. I need you all to realize that these are very, very strenuous times for the city of Houston. We are growing by leaps and bounds. It has never been more important to follow the rules that we have set here in our society. A quick reminder, I'm sure you all are aware, but you must come to me if you wish to create a sire. As more and more humans flock to the city, maybe we can afford to bring more of our kind in. But for the time being, we need to be very careful. And if any of you do not follow that caution, you will regret it." And he kind of goes behind the curtain. "Thank you. You may return to whatever it is you were doing this evening."
Well,
the people are kind of just like, "What the fuck was that? Like, the hell?"
I guess there's no recognition of our hard work, Jace says to Rebecca and Eleanor. Not surprised.
Well, do not be surprised. Eventru never acts. They plan ahead. They will not give you what you deserve on the spot, maybe, but they know. And they tend to be good when it comes to the payments. But still, we could ask to have a word with the prince.
Maybe. I'm afraid he'll probably just give us more work.
Unofficially, he owns us. Officially, a boon is not declared, therefore he can avoid paying anything for our services. It is our duties as his subjects, actually, to act. So if you would like to speak to him, Mr. Phillips, we could go. We could ask for a hearing. But beware of what you're going to say, not to spoil the name we made for ourselves. So, what would you like to do?
I'm not too bothered. He looks at Eleanor. You're the one who's got real stake in the city. We're just newcomers.
Eleanor's kind of like staring at his face. Sorry. Sorry, what did you say?
What do you make of all of that?
I mean, I don't need recognition, but he promised. He said no new vampires.
Promise.
True.
I just I don't know. I'm just a little out of sorts. That was a little more than I expected.
You were preparing yourself to create a children?
I don't know. I need to talk to him.
You want us to accompany you?
No, you don't. It's fine. It's fine. but I mean, maybe we should see how Darius is doing it. Like she's not making any sense.
As if on cue, you see Darius kind of walk from the from behind the aisle, and people are kind of like whispering like he said no new vampires. Who the fuck is this guy? And he walks over to you three, and he's like, the prince would like to see you behind the stage.
Here we go.
Before we go, please be reminded of the tradition of progeny. We're not allowed to sire anyone without his permission, and this is his call. And please be reminded that he already spared Mr. Darius after your wishes, so please act accordingly. And she fixes her hair as she walks.
He shrugs. Jace shrugs at Eleanor and follows after.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering, is anyone watching us as we're following? I'm guessing they're all watching us as we're... Of
course they are watching you as you walk, because you're being led by this newcomer that nobody's ever seen before.
Gotham!
After he just, killed two people who were just like, hey, yeah, guys, no new vampires. Here's a new one, by the way. Everyone, all eyes are on you, pretty much.
So, Eleanor's gonna kind of, walk up to Darius and be like, are you okay?
I mean, he's wearing. Oh, I should have mentioned. He's wearing a different set of clothes that are just as nice as the ones that were left that he was wearing the night before, but it is a different set of clothes that you've never seen before, Eleanor.
Oh, okay. Is he treating you well? Because it kind of looks like he is.
Yeah. He's been taking real good care of me. But I mean, like he said, he wants to see you, and I think it's best if we don't delay.
You're learning fast. Good.
And kind of has a slight grin when he said, Rebecca says that. Gotta survive.
Good.
I'm betting what's his face, the Toreador, is probably watching in MV.
Jason is more so, he's like, where did he get that fucking suit, man? Oh shit.
Wait, what is that really? Was it Macy's, a really old store in Houston?
I think so, yeah.
Sears.
Oh,
Sears. Yeah.
Sears.
Got it, Sears, baby. But he starts leading you into the back of the theater. And you can see from backstage, people are cleaning up the mess that was made from the execution. Human hands doing it, of course. And you see Maurice kind of standing outside of a green room, so to speak. And I forget what it is. I think it would be a green room, right? Where people come and chill at the theater backstage before going on stage.
Yeah, dressing room.
Dressing room, sorry. You see him kind of standing outside, and he kind of gives you a nod as he opens the door. He's like, the prince will see you now.
Thank you.
Maurice.
Just, his wounds are healed, but his wounds were healed, and if your hands weren't daggers, the stares you're giving him sure do feel just as sharp.
Mm-hmm. So as we walk in, I'm holding my hat in my hands, and I'm gonna put my hands, or just put my hand hands behind my back, with my just trying to hide them as much as possible.
Okay. As the three of you enter, he's like, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me this evening.
Your Grace.
I owe the three of you quite a bit of gratitude. Not only did you succeed in the task that was given to you, but with almost godlike speed and precision. I could not have asked for a better group of people to handle this situation.
We promise not to disappoint you, my lord.
Oh, and I am not disappointed in the least. I apologize for the lack of credit given on the stage, but I did not want to play any favorites. I did not want, everyone here. Everyone is looking here, and if there are any rivalries or any ill feelings among the Camarilla, I just want to make sure that everybody here is civil tonight. You've earned that much. I trust that the rest of you are not immune to a few uncomfortable stares from the crowd.
Sir, maybe we aren't, but what about Darius here? No one knows him.
Darius, that is something we will get to eventually. However, I would like to speak with each of you privately. Mr. Phillips, if I could have the room with you. Miss Astory, Miss Taylor, if you don't mind waiting outside for a few minutes.
Yes,
Okay.
my lord.
And he kind of stands up as you both leave the room. And I'm going to bring us into our side-by-side.
I don't like this.
The door kind of they kind of close the door behind them as Jace sits down, or as the prince goes back to sit down after standing up. Well, Mr. Phillips, it appears the city of Houston owes you a great debt of gratitude.
I suppose so, sir.
Would you care for a drink? And he kind of pours a glass.
I'm all right, thank you.
Suit yourself. Please do not. I hope you do not mind if I indulge.
No, not at all.
Mr. Phillips, your name is one that is known around the state of Texas.
I have a small reputation as someone who gets things done.
And things have been done here in the city. Quite quickly, too. I can see that your reputation definitely precedes you.
Thank you, sir.
I wonder how you are enjoying the life of a vagrant, so to speak, wandering from town to town.
Was a time, sir, where cowboys weren't considered vagrants nor vagabonds. It's a hard job that needs doing, sir.
Well, there is plenty of work to be done here in Houston. And I could use a man of your skills. I know that you may have a reputation or a loyalty to many of the other princes throughout the state of Texas, but I was hoping you might consider staying in Houston for a time.
Well, I rightly hadn't considered it, sir. Is there is there more work to be done, or I'm sorry, I'm a little confused as to what you're asking me here. You're asking, or are you telling me to stay?
I would like you to stay. I will not force it upon you. I could just, as I said out there, Houston grows by leaps and bounds every day. And if I was to allow everyone to sire a vampire, we might be overrun with more kindred than we can control. You have proven that you can take orders. You have proven a very efficient worker. And I would like to see you. I would like to be able to call on you should more work arise.
Is Maurice in here or outside?
Maurice is outside.
Well, I am not a... when I was mortal, my daddy always said I wasn't the type to climb any ladders, rise to any positions of power. I don't think he could have foreseen the kind of unlife that sat before me. But I will say this, sir. Out of all the princes in Texas, your sheriff is the shittiest I've ever seen.
Is that so?
I'm not necessarily nominating myself for the position. There are others in the city who may be more deserving, but as far as Maurice is concerned, he's a yellow-bellied coward in my eyes. And, well, just a bit of professional advice that my apologies, you didn't ask for.
I did not ask for it, but I cannot unhear what I have heard. You do speak with passion, and if nothing else, your deeds have earned you the right to speak candidly. But I would hope that you would know that it is not something you should do to the prince so freely in the future.
Jace tries to hold back a little bit of a smile. Can I roll some etiquette here?
I
don't have much.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just curious to see how... Oh, I've got 2 hunger. Shit. Oh, that's 3 dice. 2 of them are hunger dice.
Yes!
Okay, 1 success. So I think he's just like... Yes, you're right. Well, I wouldn't be... I wouldn't mind staying in Houston, but I would need some sort of permanent place to stay, a stable to keep my horse in, the bare bones necessities, you understand.
Of course, you would definitely be provided with chambers, a place to call home, a place to hang your head, a place to leave your horse. Cisco would definitely be welcomed in here as well. While the city grows in leaps and bounds, I can promise you something on the outskirts of the city, close enough to where if I need to call on you, maybe some sort of telephone can be provided for you. If you are interested in the position of sheriff, I do not see why we cannot entertain the idea. But I would like to keep you in Houston for much longer. That's all I will say at this point in time.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Is there anything
else? A sign of high honor coming from you.
Kind of like Bowser said. Is there anything else you wish to ask?
No, thank you, sir, for the work done here. I feel honored that you would call on me to take care of such a tremendous crisis in your city.
The prince kind of like looks at you like, well, the favors of a prince don't come very often. If there's nothing you wish to ask for, then so be it.
There were definitely some questions I wanted to ask, like, why are you so bad at your job? But no. He holds it back.
Okay. Well then, if you wouldn't mind sending Miss Astery in.
Of course. Have a good evening.
You as well.
And he leaves to go. And he like nods at Rebecca.
And I think I will move us over to our scene with Rebecca. As you enter into the dressing room with the prince here, Rebecca, you can see that he's sipping on the drink that he poured when he was with their knees with Jace. It's like, Miss Astery, thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you, my lord.
I know this is...
How may I be of service?
Well, I know that you are new to this city, and I know that you may be alone when it comes to having others of your kind here in the city. So, it is not gone unappreciated that you have served so loyally, so faithfully, and so efficiently since you've been here in the town.
I was only doing my duty.
Well, your duty was performed excellently.
Thank you, Your Grace.
If I may be a little bit more candid with you, I do not really know what to make of a Turamir in this city.
I could offer some suggestions.
I haven't had much dealing with your kind in quite a while. Houston has not seen your like in many years. He's like moving his fingers up and down his like wine glass. I wondered if maybe that should change.
Please enlighten me, my lord.
Well, I told the crowd out there that I reminded them of the rules here of our society and how they should be followed, and they should always come to me for permission when asking for such things. But if there are others out there who would be willing to serve a prince loyally, who know what it is to follow the rules of the Masquerade, to keep our secrets secret, I do not see why we can't invite more of them in. I must also admit I'm intrigued by what your clan can bring to our city in terms of power.
Would you be open to a counter offer, my lord?
I believe you've earned that as much.
Indeed, you are not experienced with my clan. This is not a bad thing. I can show you some potential that my blood has, and I could help you determine who is with you and who is against you. You may be aware that my clan is known for two things. The one is the control we have over the blood, and the other, well, it's torture, but don't get it personally. I could offer my services to you, my lord, in whatever position you see fit in your court. And maybe instead of bringing more, like me, you could give me a position to help you. I don't wish to rule, I only wish to serve and maintain the traditions, as you saw. This would give me a name in my clan, and to you, the powers of my blood.
He looks like he's like grins really big at that. Well then.
Before you reply, one more thing. I did some research yesterday night. Both men were of no potent blood, my lord.
Scum of the earth.
This is what I can do in less than a night.
I saw what you were able to do in 2 nights, with the help of only 2 others. I know that Eleanor has been a trusted ally over the past few years. Mr. Phillips, I was less sure of. He has proven his loyalty. He has proven that he can follow orders. But I assume that the capture and the conclusion of this incident was due in no small favor to the power that the clan Tremere brings to the table. Very well, Miss Astery. Let us see how well you can serve your prince here in Houston. If it is a name you seek, if it is to be named among the Tremere, so be it.
You will not regret it, my lord.
I hope that I do not.
A wise man once said that no one should trust Clan Tremere. they know well. But feel free to trust my faith in your face and the traditions, my lords.
I cannot at this time. I cannot say that I trust Clan Tremere, but for the moment, you have earned the first bit of trust of your prince.
So, will you allow me to stand by you?
I think this can be agreeable to us. I think we can find a place for you here in the city of Houston. The university, for example, is a place where we can gain some influence. A woman of your talents, of your intellect, could be useful at the university, overseeing how things go with the construction, with the recruitment of students, and having
Are you
eyes on
offering
that
me a
part of the
domain,
city
my
would
lord?
always be good. Well, if you would have it, the university, I can so name it.
I actually kneel in front of him. It would be highest honor, Your Grace. More than I could ever ask. Please, accept my services
I do.
for
Now,
whatever matter you need to protect the Camarilla.
this will be on a very tenuous basis. Prove to me that you can be trusted, and you will see that your prince can be very, 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 very giving, but he can also take away.
From now on, then, for an eternity of fun life, you will every night receive proof of my loyalty, Your Grace. I appreciate your generosity, sir.
It is a pleasure to deal with somebody who knows the ways of the Camarilla so well.
This is only the tip of the iceberg, if I may. I have much more to show. Please, at your services.
Thank you. We will discuss more in the coming nights. For now, please, I would speak with Eleanor.
At once, Your Grace. Thank you.
And so again, he downs that drink as you leave the room.
Exiting the room, casually, maintaining full composure, and be like, Eleanor, darling, would you please? And the moment she moves and she's not looking anymore, I'm like, yes.
There's like a little like sliver of like where the door can't see, like you can't see him, he can't see you, and just you're able to let loose in that moment.
Yeah, like for a second, I drop my composure and then go back to my tremor.
Love it.
Face.
A little bounce in your step.
So Eleanor enters into the room. We'll switch over to Eleanor's scene. Eleanor, Miss Eleanor. Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much for coming this evening. I trust that was that bit of business at the beginning on the stage wasn't too upsetting to your senses.
I may have been here for a while, but that was kind of a first for me.
Miss Eleanor, I believe we have very important matters to discuss regarding a certain request that was made before this incident had taken place.
Yes, sir.
You came to me seeking to sire this Sebastian, was it not?
Yes. Yes. I believe you met him before when you've come to the Midnight Rose.
That one, yes. A very beautiful man.
Yes.
You say that he could be very useful to us as well.
Yes, sir. I mean, he, like I said before, he has really worked hard to protect our secret and to work to help us in general.
You know exactly what I said out there about being careful as the city grows by leaps and bounds. You know what I said about how this is not the time for our numbers to increase. But you also know that as Prince, I will keep my word. If you think that this one will be of use to us in the Camarilla, your years of service precede you, and this deed you have done for me is no small deed. I believe that I could find it in my power to grant your request.
You mean it, sir?
I would like you to speak candidly at this point.
Okay.
Why do you do this for this human? I hope he realizes what lie ahead for him in the nights to come, and why you would want to inflict this on somebody.
I mean, we've had many nights talking about this. It's no secret to you. He was the one who found me after I was turned, and he was the one who figured out how to take care of me, and he's been doing so ever since. It's been years of his own human life that he's given to me, and I just want to grant him the gift that we have. I want to give back to him as well and make sure he's protected. Texas is